Welcome back to the lecture series of function of complex variables. In the previous lectures, actually I have discussed the complex variable differential part. That means I have discussed the limit, continuity, derivative, the analytic function, the Cauchy-Riemann equation, and how to get the what are the harmonic conjugates and what are the harmonic functions. After that, I have discussed what is the complex mapping. So in that complex mapping, I have discussed what are the characteristics in the form of conformal mapping and bilinear transformation. So in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the complex integration. So before discussing the complex integration, we should know what do you mean by a curve in the complex plane. So before discussing this, the curve in the complex plane, just we need to know what do we mean by the complex function or complex mapping. So as I have discussed earlier, so what do you mean by the complex mapping? So complex mapping actually whenever we are discussing any other mapping in the with the real variable, so we can draw the function in two-dimensional, three-dimensional graph. But we know that whenever we are considering the function of complex variable, so w equals to fz. So we know that there are four variables actually, two independent variable in the form of x and y, which are the real and imaginary part of the input value or input variable z, and we are getting corresponding output which is also a complex number w, and there are real and imaginary parts of w, that is u and v. So there are four variables. So it is not possible for draw the graph in four-dimensional geometrical figure. So that's why whenever we'll define a complex valued mapping, what we'll do, just we'll consider a graph or consider a two-dimensional geometrical figure in z plane, because whenever we are taking a complex number, this actually identifies some point in the two-dimensional eigenplane. So we'll try to find out how it maps from z dimension or z plane to w plane. Okay, so we know that whenever we are considering a geometrical figure in two dimension, then it actually represents the equation of a curve. So this curve can be a straight line, this curve can be a parabola, this curve can be a hyperbola, anything. So in the eigenplane, what do you mean by the curve? Just we are going to discuss it. So you know the parametric representation. So whenever we are considering the eigenplane, so that is the x-axis, that is the y-axis. So how we can consider a curve? So you know that whenever we are identifying a complex number z in the complex plane, that is nothing but a point in the two-dimensional eigenplane. So we are taking another point z1, that is another point in the eigenplane. Z2, we are taking another point in the eigenplane. So if we draw those points, we will get the equation of a curve. So in the parametric form, how we can define it? Say for example, t is any real number. So corresponding to t, the real part x and real part y are dependent. So a real part x and real part y are dependent on t. That means I am taking some variable t equals to 1. So t equals to 1, then I am getting some value of xt. The real part is dependent on t. The imaginary part y is dependent on t. So I am getting some phi t and getting some psi t. So that means if I take t equals to 1, so this will be phi 1 and this will be psi 1. So phi t and psi t are two other functions that is dependent on t. So whenever we are varying the real value t, so corresponding to that real value t, we are getting the value of the real part x, we are getting the value of the imaginary part y. So if I consider the order pair, this identifies a point in the eigenplane. So if we join the points, this will give us a particular curve. So if we restrict the interval from where we are taking the values of t, say for example t1 and t2. So the values of z will go from xt1 iyt1 to xt2 plus iyt2. That means I'll get a particular section of that curve. So that is called an arc. So in that way, I could define a curve in the complex plane. So complex plane means here I am taking the input plane, that is the z plane. So here I could take the initial point A as z1. What is z1? Z1 is nothing but the point which is associated to the variable or to the parameter t we are considering as t1, and b is the value of the point, or b is the point z2 which is associated to the parameter t2. So in that way, if I fix the lower bound and upper bound of the curve, or lower point and upper point of the curve, we will get a arc. So I am giving example. Say for example, we know that the parametric representation of a parabola, or if I take xt as 80 square and y equals to 280. Say for example, if I take t equals to 1, I will get 2a, 2a. If I get t equals to 2, I will get 4a, 4a, like that. So in that way, if I consider the point xt and yt, which is nothing but which are associated with some variable t, real variable t, then if I consider any point in the eigenplane, say any point in the eigenplane z, so the coordinate will be 80 square to 80. So if I consider the collection of all those points by varying the value of t, I will get the equation of the parabola y square equals to 4x. So this y square equals to 4x is nothing but a parabola in the z eigenplane. So any point over the parabola can be represented in the form of z, that is nothing but at square plus I into 2at. So then what do you mean by the simple curve? So you know that whenever we are varying the value of t, so corresponding to the value of t, I am getting the value of the real part xt, getting the value of the real part yt. So depending on xt and yt, that means depending on t, I am identifying the point, the complex point zt in the curve. So if t1 and t2 are different, we are taking the real value t1 and t2 different, corresponding to that t1 and t2, the zt1 and zt2 are different, then it is called as the simple curve. And what is the multiple point? So we are taking the parameter, the value of the parameter t1 and t2 as different, but although t1 and t2 are different, corresponding to those t1 and t2, two points in the Argand plane are same. So then the point j is called as the multiple point. So then what do you mean by the closed curve? Closed curve means, so in a curve there can be more than one multiple point. So closed curve means apart from the end point, so apart from the end points, so end points are actually coinciding. That means the curve is closed. That means if I take the lower bound t1 and upper bound t2, that is the two segments of the curve we are considering. Then for t1 I am getting some z21, for t2 we are getting some zt2, and they are coinciding. That means the curve is closed curve. Then the curve is actually the initial point and the terminal point of the curve are joined actually. We will say that this is a closed curve, and this is called a simple closed curve if there is only one multiple point, and that is nothing but the initial and terminal point where they are coinciding. That is the only multiple point in that curve. And apart from this, if there are more than one multiple point in that closed curve, then it is called as the only closed curve. And if one multiple point is there, it is called as the simple closed curve. So that is nothing but the end point. So I am giving some examples. So that is example of a curve. So that is a simple curve, because A means corresponding to t1 I am getting some A, corresponding to t2 I am getting some B. So they are actually different. So that is called a simple curve. So here this is called as the closed curve. Why this is the closed curve? So this is the closed curve because if you start from any point, so actually if you traverse to the path, you will get at the terminal point at the same point. So that is the closed curve. So that closed curve, that means some corresponding some t1 we are getting this point, and if we traverse the path, then corresponding to another t2 I am getting the same point. That's why they are coinciding and framing a closed curve. So and this is also a closed curve because here also if you start from a point and if you traverse the path, you can actually come to that point only. That means the initial point and terminal point are same. But in between these two, that is called as the closed curve, and that is called as a simple closed curve. Why this is the closed curve? Because that is the multiple point. So apart from the initial and terminal point, this is the initial and terminal point, this is the initial and terminal point. So apart from the initial and terminal point, there is one more multiple point in that curve, and the curve is closed. So that is not a simple closed curve. But the previous example, this is a closed curve and there is no multiple point apart from the initial and terminal point. Only initial and terminal point are coinciding, they are merging, but the other points are not coinciding actually. So this is called as the simple closed curve. Now what do you mean by the smooth curve? So whenever we are defining a curve, you know that. So what is the significance of the tangent on that curve? So actually the significance of the tangent is that in that curve I can provide some direction. That is the physical significance. That means if I consider a curve, so if I can provide the direction at a particular point, so that actually nothing but the tangent. And by derivative we actually find out the slope of the tangent. So if a curve in the complex plane possesses the continuous derivative at each and every point, then the curve is smooth in that segment. Say for example, if I consider this curve, if you take any point, so this point, you can draw a tangent. If you take this point, you can draw a tangent. If you take this point, you can draw a tangent. So that means there is only unique tangent you can draw. That means at each and every point, if you draw here tangent, you can only provide one tangent. That means that is only unidirected. So that is called as a smooth curve. But here you can find, if I consider this part of the curve, then if you draw the tangent, so at all other points the tangent can be drawn and it will be unique. But at this point it is not possible to draw a tangent, because if you draw the tangent, there will be if you want to draw the tangent, so you can draw in that direction, you can draw in that direction. So there is no unique direction. So it is not possible to draw the tangent, because if you draw the tangent, so the slope will be parallel to the x-axis. So you know that if slope is parallel to the x-axis, that means the angle is, what is the angle? The angle is actually pi by 2. So that is the angle, that is making the angle pi by 2 with the x-axis. So that will be infinity. So that will not be a smooth curve. That means, so how we can identify, if we draw the curve, then if each and every point there is a unique tangent, that means only unique direction can be provided there. we will call that curve as the smooth curve. And if there is some this kind of part, that means this kind of shrink is there, this kind of peak is there in a curve, then at that point the curve cannot possess a tangent. So then it is not a smooth curve. So in this lecture so far I have discussed what is the curve and how we can define a curve in a complex plane in the form of a parameter. And when do we say that a curve is a simple curve? What is the multiple point? And in terms of multiple point, how we can define a simple closed curve and a closed curve. And then I have discussed what do you mean by the smooth curve. So the next lecture actually I will discuss what is the line integration. So already whenever you have studied the multivariable calculus, you have studied the line integration. So whenever we will study the complex integration or complex derivative, little bit we will try to study it by comparing it with the multivariable calculus that already you have studied. So then you will be able to understand this very easily. So the next class, next lecture, I'll go to I will discuss about the complex line integration. So till then, stay tuned and thank you all for watching this.